in my history classes, I provide the notes for you on Canvas. They'll all be on Canvas. They'll all be up here on a PowerPoint. Okay, but in government, it's straight lecture. Okay, so and I don't go so fast, and I will repeat myself when I say something, so you can write it down. Okay, this class has really helped prep you for college, like for a high-level college. Okay, and guys, by the way, you can get college credit for this class. Did I tell you that? You get 3 hours for this class and 3 hours for the history class. Okay, that's through Friends University, not Newman. Okay, and so I will provide you guys with that information as soon as Friends contacts me and says, hey, we're going to do enrollment. Okay, you'll have to enroll in the college and then pay the tuition, okay, which I think is about $85 an hour. So times three credit hour, okay? Just let me plant this in your head right now. Do not sign up for history this semester. We'll sign up again in the spring, okay? Now, those two that have me twice, you can sign up for both classes, okay? Does that make sense? So, that's what this class looks like. I think I mentioned to you guys that this is going to be a slow rollout. Okay, we won't have a test for at least a month. Okay, when it comes, be big, 2 days. Second test in here is brutal. It's really hard. Okay, now, so you might want to do some of the homework assignments. Okay. Have I had? Yes, I think I had for the first time. I had somebody ace that second test. Okay, but I've only had one person in 17 years that ace that test. If you're one of those type of people that aces tests, you're gonna have to work your butt off and really pay attention. All right. If I show a video in class, which I do have a couple that I will show, I'll give you 2 points for staying awake and watching. If you're sleeping, you get 0 out of 2, which shows up in the grade book as an F. And your mom or dad's going to be like, why do you have an F? Mom, it was only 2 points. You'll just have to explain that. Now, if you're working on calculus while the video's going, you might get 1 out of 2. Okay. All right. And if I show a video a lot, sometimes it's important. Like, you need to pay attention. Okay. All right. So you need to bring this every day. Okay. So you'll need something to take notes in for this class. Your discretion. I don't check notes. This isn't middle school. I can come around and check, see if you're taking notes. It's on you. You signed up for this class. You got, what's your goal in this class? Do you want to get an A? To try and write down everything I say. If everybody does that, then you can compare notes and say, well, study together. Study groups have worked well for this class. I've had a lot of students over the years because some people, remember stuff that others don't, and you get together. I'll give you a review sheet, tell you what to expect on the test, that sort of thing. I always give the day before the test as a review day, so I'll give you an hour on your own to review, study the day before the test. I always give that day off to study, okay? Because I know you're busy, you got stuff going on, you got other classes, you got AP and all that, okay? So I'm with you. I'm not going to bombard you with a lot of stuff. Just information. Does that sound good? Okay. Am I trying to scare you? Yes. But there's a lot of truth to those first 2 tests. After that, it's not as much information, not as difficult, So don't panic. Got a B. We'll see you after the first 2 tests. And you get 100 points for the book review. If you do a really good job with the book review, guys, that's a good grade mover. First test is worth 70 points, the 2 combined. Second test is worth 67 points. That gives you an idea roughly about how many points we're talking about. Okay. All right. You guys know the grade scale. Hey, if you need to contact me, the best way is through Canvas, inbox. I do have my phone number on there. You can call me if you have to. I'm not afraid of my students. If you're in a pinch, something's going on, you need to call me, Email, if your parents want to reach out to me, email's the best way. I have email on my phone, on Canvas on my phone. It's with me all the time, okay? So, any questions about the class? Okay. All right. I want you to turn in your book to page 6. There's a quiz at the top. I want you to take that quiz right now. Do not help your neighbors. This is not for a grade, so do not panic, because most of you will fail this quiz.
You're writing it in notebook paper.
This is your book. You get to keep this book. This is yours for posterity. Forever. good. Still working? You don't know, you don't know. Okay, this is a pretty revealing exercise, folks. Okay, for you, for me as well. Okay, so it helps me know like how much you know and how much I really need to cover. Okay, some of this you're going to have to do on your own. Like this is just like crawling from underneath that rock that you're living under and paying attention to the world around you, or the news, in other words. Okay, so let's start at the top. Okay, what was the name of the Supreme Court case that legalized abortion? Most of you know that one. Roe v. Wade, okay, 1973. Okay, and then the overturn came in 2022, which was Dobbs' decision. Did anybody know that? Okay. Yeah, it hasn't really made its way into our lexicon yet, but it's Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization. Jackson, Mississippi, Women's Health Organization. Okay. So that suit said, I think you guys know this, right? Is that abortion is an issue for the states to decide. Okay. They did the same thing with the death penalty. Okay, so some states have it, some states don't. So right now what we're seeing is many states put very strong restrictions on abortion in their states and others relaxing the rules on abortion in their states. And there's this big fight going on right now in our government is over like military bases. So if you're on a military base in Biloxi, Mississippi, and you're a female soldier, and you get pregnant, it's an unwanted pregnancy. Mississippi's not going to allow you to have an abortion after 6 weeks. So the government, the U.S. military, is said that it will pay for our female soldiers to go to another state using your tax dollars to send them to another state where they can get an abortion. There's a senator from Alabama, his name's Tommy Tuberville, who's a former head football coach at the University of Auburn, who is holding up all military promotions until the government says we will not fund abortion with taxpayer money. So if you're in the military, and we're talking for like generals, majors, higher ups, those promotions have to go through the Senate, and they're not happening. So there's a standoff in our government right now over this issue. Okay. All right. All right. Number 2, how did we do? Governor of Kansas. Raise your hand if you got it right. Name is Laura Kelly, right? Laura Kelly. Is she a Republican or a Democrat? She's a Democrat, okay? Which is weird because we're a very Republican state. We're what you would consider a red state. So if you look over at that map, over the Electoral College map, see the red numbers, okay, and the blue numbers. Now that's from the 2012, that's Obama's re-election. Okay, so red states are ones that typically go Republican, blue states that typically go Democrat, and then you have your purple states, which are what are called swing states. That could go either way. Name one swing state. Non-Nebraska. New Mexico. Florida's a swing state. Ohio's a swing state. Michigan's a swing state. Wisconsin's a swing state. Pennsylvania's a swing state. Arizona's a swing state. Those states where the election was very close between Trump and Biden in 2020. Okay? Those are considered swing states. That's where they will be bombarded with television commercials for the election, okay? We're not really a swing state. Kansas is more of a red state, but we have a Democratic governor. Now, how do you get a Democratic governor in a red state like that when like 63% of people voted for Trump instead of Biden? How do you get a Democratic governor? Let me tell you. You put up a really bad candidate for your party, and they lose. And that's what the Republicans did. They put up a bad candidate. And Republicans said, I don't like this guy. So I'm either not going to go vote, I'm going to vote for the Democrat. Because I don't like this candidate. He's creepy. His name was Chris Kobach. A lot of Republicans are like, I agree with the guy on most stuff, but something about him, I just don't like him. He's cold, creepy. Okay, it happens. You got to put up good candidates. All right, so moving on. Who represents the 4th congressional district? Go ahead. Oh, is that? No, that's not up there. What do you have, number 3? Is this what you have? Who's the current Secretary of Defense? His name is Lloyd Austin. He is an African American. Who is the Vice President? Oh, hang on. Don't say it out loud. Did everybody get this right? Did everybody get this right? No? Raise your hand if you think you got it right. All right, Ashton, what do you have?
I don't want to say it.
Say it. Say it.
Is it right? Oh, Pamela.
Not Pamela.
Is it right?
It's Kamala.
Oh.
Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. Now she is actually African American as well, but let's be more specific. Kamala Harris is a descendant of an Indian American, not Native American, from India, okay, and a Haitian immigrant, okay. Haitian folks tend to be dark, okay. So she's a mix of those two. Okay. She's from California. She was a senator from California before she was chosen by Joe Biden. Okay. What's interesting, and I heard this on the radio this morning because I listen to news in the morning. I don't know if I told you that. They were talking about the upcoming election and saying, Kamala Harris is most famous because there's a debate coming up. Republican primary debate Wednesday night. Maybe some extra credit in there somewhere. I don't do that very often, like rare. Extra credit. Rare. Maybe. The fact that I said it out loud, maybe I have to now. Her most famous part of because she ran for president in 2020. She obviously Biden got the nomination and won, right? So she was chosen as vice president, right? Her most famous part of the debates was when she attacked Joe Biden. Okay, I mean, she hammered Joe Biden in the debates, and then he picked her as his running mate. Okay, which is interesting. She was polling at 1%, so she dropped out. So on Wednesday, we'll get to that. Okay, who's the current Speaker of the House? The most powerful man in the House of Representatives or woman in the House of Representatives, and it is not Nancy Pelosi any longer. Anyone? Got a lot. Okay. His name is Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy, he's from California. And he is a Republican. The Republicans control the House of Representatives. They have more seats. Okay? that one of the questions I have on here? Let's do it right now. How many members are there in the United States House of Representatives? Like total number of members of the House. These are members of Congress. Anyone? You go. 435. Okay? 435. All right, you guys are going to say it with me. We're going to learn this right now. How many members are there in the United States House of Representatives? How many members are there in the United States House of Representatives? Got it? Okay. Now, this map, guys, is an electoral college map. Okay? So in order to see how many members of the House a state has, subtract 2 from these numbers. So how many members of the House of Representatives does Kansas have? 4. These are based on population. Each state gets 2 what? Senators. How many states are there? How many senators are there? 100. Okay, 50 stars on the flag, 50 states, 2 senators each. So 435 plus 100 means there's 535 members of Congress. You have the House and the Senate that comprise Congress. Good? If you didn't know, I have a YouTube channel called Mr. Ebright. So if you let me know, Mr. Ebright, I'm going to be gone. Will you please record the lecture? I will record it and post it on YouTube. I'll have the date and the subject matter on the YouTube. Okay. Good. We're missing somebody on a college visit, so I told him I'd record. Good. All right. So next, Kevin McCarthy, California. Okay. Who is the current Senate President pro tempore? That's the longest serving member of the majority party in the Senate. And that belongs to a woman named Patty Murray. Patty Murray is from Washington State. So she's been in the Senate longer than any other Democrat. That's saying something, okay? Been there a long time. It'd probably be Joe Biden if he hadn't been elected president, vice president, because he was in there for a while. All right. Next. Senate Majority Leader. Anyone? Mitch McConnell. Patty Murray's a Democrat. Mitch McConnell is a Republican. He's from Kentucky. And he is old. He would be the Senate President pro tempore if the Republicans control the Senate, but the Democrats control the Senate. So he is, this is Majority Leader? I'm sorry. The Minority Leader is Mitch McConnell. Don't worry. Okay. I'm sure somebody got this right. The Majority Leader is Chuck Schumer. Guys, you don't need to know this for a test. Yeah. Down the road. Chuck Schumer. He's from New York. Okay. I misread this. Okay, number 8. True or false? Affirmative action is a policy that supplies money to poor nations that are friends of the United States. Raise your hand if you said true. Raise your hand if you said false. Did you answer the question? Which one? Hey, get off the fence. You got to answer. It's one or the other. How many said true? I see now. Okay, you're wrong. False. Okay, I'll explain affirmative action is in a few minutes. Okay, since President Trump has taken office, probably need to update this a little bit. When Trump was president, the average tax bill for American citizens decreased. True or false? How many of you guys said true? You're right. True. Trump passed one of the largest tax cuts in American history, and no, it didn't just go to the rich. It lowered taxes for everybody. Okay? True or false? Pakistan and Saudi Arabia are considered allies of the United States. True or false? How many of you guys said true? You're right. True or false? The United States is part of NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. How many of you guys said true? You're right. We are NATO. There's a lot to talk about with NATO. Okay? Kim Jong-il is the dictator of South Korea. True or false? How many of you guys said true? It's false. Kim Il-sung. Kim Sung. Kim Il. Good. How's it go? Kim Sung-un is the dictator of North Korea. Kim Il-sung. I'm having trouble with his name. So the grandfather was Kim Il-sung. The son was Kim Jong-il. And grandson is Kim Jong-un. That's it. Of North Korea. Okay. So since 1950, that family has been dictators over North Korea. And it's one of the worst places on the planet. Okay, so like, you can be grateful that you were born here or in Mexico or in Vietnam and not in North Korea. Okay. All right. We are very blessed. Okay. What does what do I have next? What does ISIS or IS stand for? Anybody know what IS stands for or ISIS? No? The Islamic State, or the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. Now, I know in world history, guys, you learned about what a caliphate is in the Muslim world, the Islamic world. A caliphate, it's like the Pope. Okay, if the Pope were to rule over Christian nations, it would be like a caliphate. So you have a religious leader that rules over nations. Okay, that's a caliph. And the caliph that came about with ISIS was a guy named al-Baghdadi. That's right, I said Baghdadi. Okay? This was the sixth caliphate in Islamic history. Now, Obama was president when ISIS came about, referred to them as ISIL. The Islamic State of Iraq and Levant. Levant meaning it's a historical term of a large part of the Middle East that ruled over the Middle East. Okay, and that's what ISIS wanted, was to rule over the Middle East. Religious country, a religious region, everybody worshiping the same way. All the laws based on Islam or Sharia law. Follow me? These people were worse than Al-Qaeda. Baghdadi's dead. We got it. Okay? Now, there's a lot of history with that, and we'll talk about in history class soon. Okay? All right, moving on. Which amendment to the Constitution provides for the freedom of religion? Numero uno. It's, in fact, guys, it's the first freedom mentioned in the Bill of Rights. Your first freedom is religion. Okay? You got speech, press, assembly, petition your government, all in that First Amendment. 5 freedoms in the First Amendment. Okay? All right. How many members are there on the Supreme Court? 9. Can you name one that was appointed by Trump or Biden? Ketanji Brown Jackson was appointed by Biden. Trump appointed 3 Supreme Court justices. Kavanaugh, Gorsuch, and Amy Coney Barrett. Guys, this is the reason why Roe v. Wade was overturned, is because Trump got to appoint 3 Supreme Court justices, and they all voted to overturn Roe v. Wade. This is the importance of who is president. They get to choose the federal judges and Supreme Court justices. So it matters who is president, if nothing else, for that. Supreme Court, guys, changes culture. They control culture. They make decisions that affect our daily life. Okay, and that's important. And then who controls the Senate? Because those judges have to be approved by the Senate. Okay, this is why elections are important. They have consequences. I never thought, guys, I would see Roe v. Wade overturned in my lifetime. I just didn't see it happen. Now, it hasn't made abortion illegal in this country, but it has allowed us to restrict it. Okay? I never thought that day would come. Donald Trump made that happen. Okay. Where can you find the Gaza Strip on a map? Yes. In fact, it's within the borders of Israel. Yes. Okay. It's the Gaza Strip and the West Bank are where Palestinians are living inside Israel. Okay. It's a divided state. So the Jews, the Palestinians, those two have been fighting with each other ever since 1948, when Israel became a nation state. Okay, after World War II. All right. Capital of Ukraine. As we learned all in the last 2 years, the correct pronunciation is not Kiev, but Kyiv. All right. All right, guys, Wednesday night on Fox News, first presidential debate for the Republican Party to go up against Joe Biden in 2024. Donald Trump is leading in all the polls for the Republicans. In fact, he's leading in some polls against Joe Biden. He is under indictment in 4 different cases. A total of 91 charges being brought, both state and federal charges, against the former president and top candidate for the Republican Party. Trump is not going to be at the debate. He's got a 40, 50-point lead over all the other Republicans. Like, why would I go to that? There is another Democrat running that's challenging Joe Biden. He's a Kennedy. You guys heard of this guy, Kennedy? Okay. And is Joe Biden going to debate Kennedy? No. So Trump's like, I'm not going to this debate. Okay. Now, what happens if Trump is in jail and he wins the presidential election?
Is he going to, what's it called?
Pardon
himself.
He can pardon himself in 3 of the 4 indictments. The last one, the latest one out of Georgia, is a state that is charging him with crimes. He cannot pardon state crime. So of all the trials, that one needs to go first. You know what I mean? Like, we need to know. Is the president going to be in jail? Guys, nothing like this has ever happened. Okay, now I'm trying to tread lightly here, and I will tread lightly. This has never happened before. Okay, now, everybody at home, like, you have families, like, you know, half of your family is MAGA, and the other half of your family's not. I know this about your family. So you got two sides, right? And when you guys go home, some of your parents, and then some of your parents are like, I freaking like Trump. I'm all on board with Trump. And then some of your parents are like, you know, I like Trump, but it's too much for me. I can't handle it anymore. I just need a different one. I need somebody else. Okay? That's what's going on at your house. I don't even know if it's talked about in your house, but it's talked about in my house because I'm a government teacher. Okay? And it's talked about here because this is a government class. Okay? Now, I'm not saying right or wrong. This has never happened before. This is the type of stuff that happens in other countries where they go after the political opponents and try and put them in jail. Okay? Is there these crimes? We'll try and dig into it a little bit. Okay? We'll have this going on for a while. Okay? So, can you name any of the other Republican candidates besides Trump? Who? Mike Pence, former vice president. Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, excuse me. Florida. Any guys ever heard of Vivek Ramaswamy? Vivek Ramaswamy? The Indian guy.
Oh, the senator. I forgot where he's from.
Chris Christie, former governor of New Jersey. Nikki Haley, former governor of South Carolina. There should be about 8 people on the debate stage on Wednesday night. Donald Trump won't be there. 35? No way. All right, real quick. Democrats control the Senate, Republicans control the House. Okay? How about anybody get more than 10 right or 10 right? All right. Listen, you need to pay attention to what's going on. Okay? Bell's going to ring, so I'll pick on you then a little bit. We're going to go to page 7 tomorrow, but we're going one at a time. One at a time. The longer it takes me to get through page 7, the longer it is before I start lecturing and you're taking notes. Okay? We're going to learn about all these issues the next couple of weeks. Sound good? Bring your book.